Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV. So, guys, finally, we get to sit here and talk about the Mommy Club, the reunion. Okay. The reunion. They finally did it, you guys. I like the fact that this reunion feels like it was done as a response to the viewers wanting a reunion. Okay. Or as a response to Twitter wanting the reunion. Okay. It means that they're following up on what people would like to see on the show. So I like the fact that they did it, you guys, even though they did it so late. So I enjoyed it. Okay, it's nice in December to have nice things to watch on Showmax. Okay, I'll probably repeat it when I go on leave and I'm bored. I don't know what to watch. Okay, so I like that, you guys. So let's talk about the host. The host, Sima. Remember Coco's Cotton. So let's talk about the host, you guys. I like the fact that they chose Tembi Sam daughter. I like it, okay? And I did have concerns because of course Utembi Sam daughter, even though she is a public figure, she has been able to be very private about certain things in her life. So I did wonder, you guys, if she was going to let them get away with not wanting to ask certain questions because she's also a celebrity and understands that certain things you don't really want to talk about them and maybe forget that this is a reality show, so we want to know everything. So, but I liked her, you guys. I liked how she hosted the reunion. I like it when a host sounds like they've watched the show. Okay, I like it when it sounds like they know what was happening on the show. The questions that we have about the show, she has too. She has people that she wants to account for certain things. Okay, so I like to tell me something. I think she did well at this reunion, you guys. She was very respectful. I like that. There were moments where I felt like she could go deep when I wished that she could go deep with the question and maybe she didn't. And but I'll give her a pass because she did so well in so many other ways, you guys. So definitely I like Tembi Sam daughter. She looked uh beautiful with that dress, you guys. I don't know how she's done it because she just had a babe. How do women do it? Okay. So, did it not take me 20 years to even feel like myself again after having these babies? Okay. So women are now popping babies and going back to work snatched. Okay. She looked really beautiful. Everybody looked beautiful. The set was very nice. I laughed at the fact that Happy ended up wearing the same color as Ratile, and those are the two people that have one of the biggest beefs this season. So it was funny that everybody came in a different color and then they just came in the same color, but everybody looked beautiful. Ratile has this thing of wearing dresses like she's going to a beauty contest. Okay, she's like, the Miss South Africa vibes kind of a situation. But I liked her dress. I wasn't surprised by her choice of dress, even though it was very poofy. Okay, so I. So, guys, listen. The thing that I didn't like about the reunion was the fact that not all of the cast members were there. I don't understand why Miss Manchett decided not to come to the reunion. The only thing that I can think of is that she didn't want to come and account for the things that she didn't said at the reunion. You guys, I mean, you were the main cast member on the show. You have fans that really, really loved you on the show. They want to see you on the show. They want to see you defend yourself. And also, there were questions that viewers had and that now they're not going to get the answers because you decided not to do the show. I hate that, you guys. I hate it when you do a reality show, the people that support you, and then you decide you're not going to attend the reunion. They did say that they even asked her to do like a video because sometimes they would ask somebody to do that if they really can't make it, but she refused to do it, which shows you guys that the reason that she wasn't at the reunion was not because she did not have time to attend the reunion. Maybe she had other commitments. No, she did not want to do it because why would you not just make time, put on some makeup, a nice dress, and just do a video for the show? So I don't know, you guys, if this means that she's not gonna come back next season. It might be that she's quitting, but it might be that also. for the producers, they're not gonna want to bring her back because listen, we're just asking you to do this reunion for us, and then if you can't do this video for us, you don't want to do it, they might not really want her back. I don't know, you guys. I think I would have loved to see everybody come back next season, even a friend of the show, Omuhle, you guys, maybe even as a full-time cast member. I would have loved her to come back. So I hate the fact that because Miss Mancha didn't come to the reunion, the probably chances that she's not going to come back to the show. I also didn't like the fact that Omuhle was not at the reunion, even though she was a friend of the show. Even if a friend of the show is not going to do the whole reunion, she can come for certain segments. There were certain answers that were needed from Omohle. There's certain things that she needed to clarify. There are things that she needed to confront as well when it comes to the other cast members. So it would have been very nice, okay? So just for her to be there, okay? So I also don't understand that. So it ended up being just four cast members: Mrs. Mobs, Happy Smelane, it was Ratile, and it was Nunurai. Okay, imagine if one from the four was not also going to attend. I mean, I don't think that they were going to do it because it did seem very weird that it's only four women there when we had six women on the show, you guys. So the reunion starts, you guys, with them, I guess. Temi just had to explain the fact that the other cast members were not there. And then they start with the talking about the Ratile and Happy Melane's friendship. Okay. Ratile explains the falling off of the friendship as Happy wanting like friends to be to be her followers. She felt like Happy Melanie expected her to follow her around. Okay, I don't know. I think it's possible, you guys. But the only thing that wouldn't make sense for me is that I feel like Happy is a follower herself because she ended up building a friendship with Mrs. Mobs. But I feel like after she was accepted with Mrs. Mobs, then she became Mrs. Mobs' follower. But that's what Ratile is saying, okay? Listen, I don't think that they're hiding it from us that they were not really friends prior to the show, but it's like the producers were trying to make them build a friendship, okay? And Happy felt like she was being genuine when she was building a friendship. The only time that she was hurt was when Ratile started talking about her behind her back, calling her a cloud chaser and all of that. Obviously, on the show, you guys, I did feel like Ratile, if somebody is bringing you to the show, because that's how they had made it seem like Happy was bringing Ratile to the show to introduce it to the other women. Remember, they even went to that Mrs. Mob's event where Ratile was not invited, and and Happy risked her, a friendship with Mrs. Mobs, which at the time was not even a friendship. She was invited to an event, and then she's coming, she's saying, "Listen, I have a friend." I brought a friend. So I think if anything, you guys, I felt like during the season she should have been loyal to Happy. If she had questions about whether Happy was cloud chasing, all of the things that she was saying about Happy behind her back, I think she should have said those things to Happy, and maybe their friendship would have had a chance to grow. So if you think somebody is the one that is your friend in a group of friends, and it's all new friends, and then that person is ending up being the one that is saying things behind your back, then you're going to be upset about it. I do feel like Happy has said a number of times that she was hurt. Okay, she was hurt by the fact that Ratile was saying all of those things behind her back. In fact, she even gets to a point which I had forgotten about, you guys, that Ratile at some point even said whether Happy lives or dies, it does not matter to her. Okay, it doesn't change the price of whatever. Okay, and I remember that I was like, oh my god, she did say that during the show. That was when Happy was sick. Remember, Happy went to Ratile's house, but then she couldn't eat because, as we all know now, because at the time we did not know, as we all know now, she does have a condition that it makes it very hard for her to eat. And she seems to be vomiting here and there, especially after eating. So the ladies didn't understand that because they also didn't have the information. Okay. So when she was going through that, that's a comment that Uratile said. Okay. So Obviously, with everything else that Ratida was saying behind Happy's back, there's also that comment that she said. I mean, if somebody says that it doesn't matter if you live or die, you're not gonna really want to build a friendship with them. What would be the point of that? I did like, you guys, that out of everybody, Ratida was the one that seemed to be more willing to apologize. She did apologize about the fact that she had said those things about, Uhappy. She said she was horrified as well when she watched it on the show. I do imagine, you guys, that you can get carried away when you shoot a reality show. Okay, you shoot with the ladies, you get upset about things, you have questions about certain things, you want to shade some people, you go to a diary session. And then you just say you're free there because you're alone, you're not with the other cast members, they're asking you questions. And also, guys, the producers will be wanting you to say some spicy things, and then you say some things, and then you watch it back, and then you're like, yo, I shouldn't have said that, because now you realize the person is going to hear and see the things that you are saying in the diary session. So I do feel like sometimes they do get carried away, because sometimes I'll be like, why would you say that about somebody in a diary session? Because they are going to see it eventually. Okay, so I feel like they do get carried away, and I think sometimes I would feel like that's what happens with Ratile. But not only did she say some things during the diary sessions, she will say it to the other cast members. Okay, I don't feel like they're going to be friends with Happy, but I feel like they understand that they don't want to be friends. I think that Mrs. Mobs, not Mrs. Mobs, Happy wanted an apology. She got one, so now I guess it's up to them to see if they can move on, because that is the thing now. Okay, Happy is saying, listen, I felt a certain way about how I was treated in this friendship. And I mean, nobody can force me to forgive somebody right now. Now, you guys, here's the thing. I don't know why Ratile is so upset with Happy, because I don't think that Happy said a lot about Ratile. In fact, the person that Ratile should really be upset about or upset at is Miss Manche, because remember, Manche is the one that really attacked Ratile. But Ratile at the reunion was, at certain points, I feel like she was doing a little bit too much. She's coming for Happy a lot, and she's coming even more for Mrs. Mobs. Okay, I feel like for some reason, she doesn't like Mrs. Mobs, because she is feeling like Mrs. Mobs was not genuine with them when she was building friendships. For her, it was just a show, and she feels like Mobs was very messy. She was stirring a pot a lot, which I agree. Okay, but sometimes you do need a pot stirrer, you guys. Okay, so, and they do get into talking about Happy and her losing her husband. They were just getting the timelines of what had taken place as far as her husband had passed. Because remember, every time she was talking about the passing of her husband on the show, she would say last June. Okay, so obviously, we were not clear when the show was shot. So I had assumed that it was shot this year, earlier this year, and then the husband had passed away in 2022, which is what she said. So they started shooting in April when the husband had passed away in 2022. So when they started shooting the show, it hadn't been a year. Okay, I guess that's why the other ladies were talking a little bit about how Happy was supposed to be in this morning period. She was supposed to go to finding out Zilile and all of that, you guys. I understand it, but I don't understand it at the same time. I feel like when it comes to the morning process, you guys, it just depends on the person. Okay, if they want to wear the black clothes for the whole 12 months, then that's what they should do. Like, I would go according to what the person wants. And if the person is no longer doing the things that other people do in 6 months time, then let them, because at the end of the day, they've lost the person. The person is not going to come back because you're wearing black clothes for the whole year. So it had only been what, how many months, like 7-8 months since her husband had passed, so it hadn't been a year. Okay, so they did get clarity on that, you guys. They talk a little bit about the comments that were made when it comes to Happy and her clothes. Okay, I feel the same, you guys. I would just go back to wearing my clothes. Okay, maybe I would buy new clothes, just because maybe the old clothes would be feeling like, they're reminding me of the old situation. But if I was somebody that wore short dresses, I would wear short dresses if I'm done with the morning period. So why would I want to change that? Okay, so I guess other ladies were feeling like fanele khubazele ngezingubo ezinde ezimnyama or something like that. Okay, they do get into Mrs. Mobs and Manche's friendship. This is where I felt like we needed Manche, we needed her thoughts on what went on with her friendship with Mrs. Mobs. Those were the two you guys that I thought at the beginning it was going to be them against everybody else, because there was the friendship that we saw where they were trying to build first before we saw any other friendship on this show. We saw Mrs. Mobs and Manche. They had made a commitment to each other that they were going to try and make more efforts when it comes to their friendship, and they were going to try and have each other's backs more, okay, at some point, you guys, after their fight. Because remember, they did have a fight where Mrs. Mobs had made a comment about Miss Manche's child. You remember the child that, you know, licked a cake at the party. So, and they said the child is wild and she wasn't happy about that. So, they do talk about that friendship. The other cast members seem to think that the friendship was never going to work, anyways. Okay. They're feeling like this was like two bulls in the same crowd or something. Okay. The two queens, it wasn't gonna work. I feel like they could have made it work, you guys. And I don't know. I kind of feel like at some point Mrs. Mobs just got irritated with everything that Mancha was doing. Okay, she just could be talking like everybody else while they're shooting a scene, and she would be getting upset about it. Okay, Mrs. Mob says that, listen, I don't know what happened with our friendship. For some reason, at the beginning, we were excited to be friends with each other, and then kwavele kwaphela nje. It's like umjolo, friendship yabo. So, but the others did mention, even Tembisa did mention, Uti, the way that she spoke to Manche at, there was somewhere where they were having, was it dinner outside, and where they had a big fight, and then there was the satellite dish situation that was being discussed. Okay, there, remember, oh no, no, it's not that, it's at the boat. Okay, it's the boat part. It's the board part where Ratile was the host, but Miss Manche got there first and started to address everybody to say, guys, can we talk about certain things that are going on with all of us? And then Mrs. Mob said, we are Speeder, we are Papa, saying to Miss Manche. Okay. So Tembisa did point out, Wutsi, do you think that there was a way to speak to your friend? Okay. I think it depends on the friendship, you guys. Definitely a new friendship. Maybe it's not a good idea to say, we are Papa, we are Speeder, because you're still trying to build a friendship. I think with the established friendship for years, maybe you can say it to your friend. And also, maybe I wouldn't say it in front of everybody else and being irritated with my friend. Okay. I would try to just hold back. I will say it maybe ngethoni yokuthi eyi mngani kodwa uyaphapha not ukuthi "Hayi mngani uyaphapha uyaspeeda," that kind of a situation. Mrs. Mobs was convinced that, listen, she's my friend. If she was my friend, then I should be allowed to say, listen, mngani uyaspida, uyapapa, and all of that. But I think she accepted when they said, listen, maybe this wasn't not a good idea for you to speak like that to your friend, and maybe that's a thing that caused that wedge between the two of you. Okay, they did ask her, so would you speak to your friends? Like, because with Mancha, they were building a friendship. So Tebe says, like, okay, with your friends, okay, people that are already your friends, would you speak to them like that? It's like, yeah, definitely I would speak to them like that, especially if I'm annoyed. Okay. So I guess for her it was normal, but she did accept it when they were trying to point it out to her that maybe that's where the friendship went wrong, you guys. Listen, I do feel like with Manche, I think she did think that it was going to be her and Mrs. Mobs against the rest. Okay, I think that friendship meant more to her than it did to Mrs. Mobs, and I think it was very difficult for her to maneuver on the show. Now not being friends with Mrs. Mobs, especially she had bent the bridges with Ratile because every chance she gets, she was being shady at Ratila, even went to her house and said some things about her and her husband and everything. So the chance of building a genuine friendship there, you know. And then now Mrs. Mobs was like becoming best friends with Happy instead of her. So I understand how it made her feel like, okay, where do I stand now with the group? Okay. Which now it surprised me, you guys, because Ratila is talking about them trying to rebuild a friendship now. They've had a talk, they've had a sit down, they've attended events together, so they seem to be okay, which is a surprise. Okay. Anyway, you guys, they do get to bring in the nannies, you know, and they talk about how much all of the nannies were loved by the viewers, you guys. And I love the fact that you guys they got this opportunity. It was confirmed by Mrs. Mobs when she was doing the interview that the nannies do get their own separate check when it comes to the show. The show they do get paid separately. So if they're getting extra money to do the reunion, I'm assuming they're getting that money. Everybody's still working for their bosses except for I think it's Barbara who works for Atile. So Barbara is no longer working for Atile. She got a better opportunity. I think she's making curtains. So I don't know if she's hired by somebody to make curtains or she owns a company herself, and everybody was excited about that. They talked a little bit about the storylines of the nannies, you guys. So whose nanny is this? Gane is it Nunu Rise nanny? And which one, Gamb? Okay, there's a nanny that was talking about her husband cheating. Whose nanny is that? Okay, her husband cheating back in Zim and all of that. Okay, so the argument was because she is saying, listen, this is a long term, long distance relationship. Okay, I'm in South Africa, the guy is in Zimbabwe. I know for sure he loves me, but I'm not going to be delusional in thinking that he's not going to cheat. So I just look the other way. I don't really think about it that much. Okay. And then Mrs. Mob's nanny, who is Miss Manja too, who Manja says, was listen, that's ridiculous. Okay, it's ridiculous for you to actually just accept that a man cheats. Okay, if he loves you, he is for you, he will wait for you, and all of that good stuff. I agree with what Mancha is saying, but I also agree with what I'm forgetting her name actually. She's saying the other nanny is saying because listen, I feel like she's being realistic, you guys. This man will cheat, okay? And I feel like she is in South Africa for a long time, and maybe it serves her well to just say, listen, this man is going to cheat. I'm not going to be delusional and think that he's not going to. Okay. But I do understand also Manji trying to say to her friend, listen, it's not good for you to just be in this position where you are accepting that this man is going to cheat on you. So they did talk about that story. And then there's this thing where there is a fight about who the leader of the nannies is. And I've always thought that Mrs. Mob's nanny has the same. I don't know. It's almost like her and Mrs. Mobs have some kind of like similar personalities, where sometimes it does feel like they look down on others. Okay, so even that nanny always she takes herself as when compared to the others. So I was feeling I like that, you guys. But I think that it was great to have them at the reunion. They did not discuss all of their storylines in details, but I was very excited about the opportunity that Barbara got because she did the show. Okay, it felt to me like she got the opportunity because she did the show, but the exchange between her and Ratila was kind of weird a little bit. Okay. I don't know, you guys, if something did happen there that they're not talking about and they just agreed, listen, we're not gonna say a lot, we're just going to be, you know, just give a I don't know, a PR story to say we had to let you go because you got other opportunities, but my family loves you because she did say that the family loved her, the kids love her, they talk about her all the time, they ask about her still, but she got better opportunities. So I don't know, you guys, did you feel like, you know, the non-verbal communication between Barbara and Ratile was weird because there were moments where I felt like that. Anyway, you guys, I want to get into Titi's segment because came in. Titi is uh Happy's daughter, the firstborn. Okay, so she got in when the nannies were coming in. You guys, I like the fact that it seems like Happy's daughter is the one that had the most to gain from doing the show with her mom. Okay, and she seemed to have reflected. Okay, after watching the show, because she says there's a lot of things that she was saying to her mom that she feels like she shouldn't have said, and she feels like her mom didn't deserve some of the things that she said. So I kind of feel like the kid was more self-reflecting, compared to the adults. Okay, the relationship between her and her mom, she's saying that it does seem like it's better now that they've done the show. I love it for them, and I love the fact that, honestly, for real, I felt like those therapy sessions for them were real. Okay, and I felt like it was helping them in their relationship. So as much as oh happy, because at the beginning, you guys, I've always said Happy is like my favorite on the show. She was giving more than the others. She shared more of her life. Her life was more real than anybody else. Okay, so on the show, so I liked her, but towards the end of the show, I didn't like the fact that she became Mrs. Mob's follower. Wherever Mrs. Mobs went, she was agreeing with everything that Mrs. Mobs said. So I started not to like her. But honestly, if we're being honest, she gave more than anybody on the show. So I like the fact that their relationship is better now because they did the show, because of the therapy that they got and all of that. But you guys, they get to talk about the late husband and the domestic V situation, okay? And how when he would be doing that to her mom, she would say, listen, there were times where it was not easy to stop him. You couldn't stop him. Basically, not that it wasn't easy to stop, you couldn't stop him. In fact, if you were trying to stop him from doing that to your mom, then he would put you in there as well, which made me feel like that man did put his hands on that girl. It felt like that because when she would try to defend her mom, then she would find herself in the same situation as her mom. I think that is sad, you guys, for a mom to be in a relationship and then it's not a good relationship. There's domestic v in the but not only for her but even for her kids. So that is a sad situation, you guys. Her daughter doesn't want Mrs. Happy to get married. They said that she would prefer for her mom to stay single because she feels like she's doing much better being single. She did not like it when she was engaged. By the way, you guys, the engagement is over. Okay, I did feel like it did feel weird, you guys. She went to Nigeria, came back, engaged, and then everything, and then she was going to get married, Konamanje, you know. So I feel like I like the fact that she's saying, listen, the engagement is over. I was moving too fast. Now, I get what people were saying. So there's not going to be she didn't say that they broke up, but she says that they're not getting married. Okay, they talk about the backlash that oh happy got when it comes to her parenting, and she said, listen, you guys, this is how I parent. It's not perfect, sometimes I make mistakes. What would it be the point of me doing a reality show but then come here and pretend that I do things that I don't do? Okay, I gave you the real me, okay? And then you can judge if you judge, but that is how I parent my kids, okay? So listen, you guys, I do like the fact that Uheb is reflecting on her relationship with her late husband and saying, listen, I don't know what was wrong with me, because even when those he would do those things to me, I would defend him to people. So I don't know what was wrong with me at the time. Of course, she regrets the fact that her kids had to see the things that they see, had to go through the things that they went through because of the relationship that she was on. So I like the fact that looking back, she can see the things that she did wrong. Listen, when it comes to Uhappy and what did I want to say? I'm losing my train of thoughts. Okay, maybe I'll remember that point later, you guys. Anyway, they get to Mrs. Mobs, you guys, and they talk about the fact that Mrs. Mobs didn't share a lot during the show. She feels different. She feels like she shared her journey to want a fourth child. She shared, the fact that she was struggling with spending more time with her kids and all of that, you guys. I did feel like that, you guys. I felt like Mrs. Mops didn't share a lot. She got away with not sharing a lot, but she did share a little bit, okay? Because remember that outing with her daughter, and then the outing with her son. I don't know, you guys. I guess we expected maybe she will share some things about her marriage, but Mrs. Mops is very private about her marriage, and she's managed to be private about her marriage, even though she's doing all of these reality shows. Okay, so I don't know, you guys. But she says that she can hear. She was like, okay, I hear the people, if they're saying I don't share a lot, maybe in season 2 I would share more, but I felt like I shared enough, you guys. So I like that they noted that, because we would like to see more from Mrs. Mops. In fact, we would like to see more from all of the ladies, okay, including the nannies, I guess, you guys. I don't know, you guys. For me, I just feel like I wish the nannies would just do a different show, okay. I kind of, my focus is, it's very hard for me to focus on the storylines of the nannies and the storylines of the mummies. Okay, I would just love to see them on a different show, but it seems like everybody else loves them on this show. So there's something that I'm missing, I guess, when it comes to the mix of the mummies and the nannies in the on the same show, you guys. So then Temisa just asked her, listen, there are things that happen outside of the show. What's happening? And okay, there are things that happened after the show ended. Do you want to share something with us? And she ended up sharing that thing. You're going to see, listen, me and my family are going through financial difficulties at this point. So we did almost lose our house, but everything is okay. And I think that, you guys, she did the right thing, okay? And I feel like she disarmed people that could possibly use that information against her even next season. If she kept it a secret, then it can be used against her. So she revealed it, because yes, she did almost lose her house. So those stories of her house almost getting auctioned or getting auctioned were true, but they did not lose the house. They do have the house, and they are recovering. Okay, so she shared that. Oh yes, what I wanted to say about Happy was that there are things that also happened with Happy outside of the show, after the show ended, like the fact that we saw her dancing on a man while in the club with her daughter. I don't know if that happened before they shot the reunion or after they shot the reunion, but I would have loved for her to just explain herself when it came to that. Why are you at the club with your daughter dancing on a man? Okay, and those are the things that people would make people come for Happy's parenting. What the way she parents, okay, people will come for it, because really, honestly, you guys, okay, maybe at the club, because she had said previously that she would rather be at the club with her daughter than have her daughter have these men take advantage of her. I get that, but why are you dancing like that on a man with your daughter there? So just like Mrs. Mops was able to clarify some things that happened outside of the show, I would have loved for Happy to be able to clarify just that when it comes to whatever happened outside of the show. Listen, you guys, I'm going to do the another part, which is part 2 of the reunion, because they do get into it. Ratile does walk out of the reunion for some reason, and I'm still trying to figure out, you guys. It's very difficult for me to discuss that situation right now, because I'm still trying to figure out. I want to watch back to see what is really upsetting Ratile at this point, you guys. Okay, but we are going to talk about it in part 2 of the review. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to like the stream, also share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ngithanda kakhulu.